Well, the Triennale has a history of making experimental and utopian projects. It's been doing it since the late 20s. And so when we were asked by the Saloni to create a room, we started thinking about what that meant for us. And all of our professional career has been about not making rooms, but about making spaces. So not creating a space with boundaries. And so we decided to do for us a utopian project, so an experimental project, thinking about two young people who've moved to Milan and need an apartment. They're young, and we wanted to create a very small apartment. So it's a total of 45 square meters between internal, exterior and external area, but we wanted it to also have a utopian value to it, and so we wanted it to be a zero impact energy project. And so we did research onto the most advanced systems now of energy production, and we found the organic photovoltaic system. Up until now, quite often the production of energy is added on to a design. Instead, we wanted that our design was inspired by the system of energy production, and so all the red panels, glass and opaque panels in the space, can create energy. And so even with natural light, with clouds, without direct light, even artificial light. So that became the core of the project. Was an energy production system. The second, overlaying that, a leitmotif of our work is functional transformation and spatial transformation. So we wanted to also create a small space, which effectively the interior space is 33 square meters. We wanted to create a number of functions. We wanted it to change spatially. We have a number of trajectories of elements that change the space, that allow one to do different things in the one space. Also, we created a facade. It's an interactive facade that one can change the panels, the configurations of panels that would have the same photovoltaic system on the Venetian blind, so you can raise them, close them, open the panels, or close them. And so we had this buffer space, or let's call it the greenhouse, the giardino d'inverno, we'd say in Italy, the conservatory, that could be a completely outdoor space or instead used in the winter. So it was all of our ideas about transformation over the past 35 years that were then brought together with the desire to integrate energy production systems in the design and not having it as an extra element added on afterwards.
And the color, the red color, it's typical from this kind of panel. The panel can work in interior. This is a very strong new point. The color is this red Bordeaux. This was fantastic because we love very much the architecture Milanese from the 50s. It was typical in this period. So this red for us means also Caccia Dominioni. Caccia Dominioni is a reference for us, very important.
So it was a homage also in the color to a theme in Milanese architecture, these wonderful dark reds and dark greens, but it actually comes from the color of the pigment because it's like an artificial photosynthesis, the system, the organic photovoltaics, that don't need the same perfect inclination like the other, yes, what's the system called?
Photovoltaic panels.
Yes, but using silica. It's a mineral. It has serious problems in the reusing of the panels. Perhaps I should start that again. So normal photovoltaic panels use silica as the mineral that creates the energy, and it must be perfectly angled toward the to the sunlight. Instead, with the organic pigments that create an artificial photosynthesis, even artificial light can can produce energy. So one can recuperate the energy that's being used in the apartment. We attempted to create a true apartment that went down to also the objects, our loved objects that inhabited the apartment. So it was very utopian on one hand, it was very future and advanced technologically, but then it was a real house with real objects that real people love. And so I think these three layers made it quite successful. So, well, it will be used in the very, very near future because the producers of the pigments are in Australia, and Dyesold is the company, and they have already created a pavilion on their campus with the material. So it's just a question of its efficiency, of its permanency, so how stable the chemicals are, and the cost of it. It will be a very cheap system because it can be screen printed. The pigments can be screen printed. You can put them on curved surfaces, straight surfaces, flexible surfaces, glass, perspex, metal. And so the fact that it's a pigment and it's very easily and cheaply screen printed or printed on anything really does make it the system of the future. So it isn't that utopic. It's only at the moment the cost and benefits ratio that they're working on.
And anyway, all the architectural project, it's not utopic, it's perfectly real. All the system of revolving and moving elements is absolutely actual. No problem to build.